Here we go, look, can you see that up there? Yeah. That means that we're live. We're up. There's nobody watching us just yet. We'll give people a couple of minutes because we might be a bit early. But we're up live. Should we turn the lights on? Is it a bit dark in our kitchen? Yeah. All of a sudden. Let's turn the lights on then. Ready? We'll turn that one on. Whoop. And that one on. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Right, we're on. So I said that we'd start this live. Somebody's got lots of energy, even though we went for a walk this morning. Right, Archie, sensibly, please. Okay, so hopefully we start getting people coming on in a second. There you go. Look, we've got 2 people watching now. Say hello.
Hello.
2 people watching us. Say hi. Hi. Okay, I am expecting quite a few people on this live today. Archie, how many do you think there's going to be?
25.
Archie thinks there might be about 25.
26.
Or 26. I think there might be a few more than that. Hopefully. We had quite a lot of people said they were going to come on our Facebook group, didn't they?
Yeah.
For cakes. Look, we're up to 6 people now. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. So Archie's going to be my helper today. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Gemma. I'm the owner and founder, I suppose, of Cakes. Oh, hello. Look, Shona's saying hello.
Hello.
Wendy's saying hello. Say hi.
Hi.
Hi. I'm having to hold Archie up here at the minute because you can't see him when he's on his step. This is the first live I've done where I'm using a stand. So I apologise now for any camera angles that are really dodgy. Oh, Nanny's watching. Hi,
Hi, Nanny.
So today we're going to show you how to make chocolate eggs. No, we're not. Chocolate nests cakes. I'm going to be, well, actually, I've got all of the ingredients out already. Do you want to have a quick peep? Woohoo! So we've already got them all measured out, but I will give you time to catch up if you're measuring as we go. So please don't worry about that. We're obviously going to get going with baking the cakes in a second. When they're cooking, because I am doing this completely in time with all of you, so when they're cooking, I'm going to go through any comments and questions. So if you've got any questions, write them down. I won't be able to see your comments. Archie, calm down, please. I'm not going to be able to see your comments when I'm actually doing everything here, but I will go through in that time while our cakes are baking and have a look and answer any questions. So write them all down. They don't have to be about the cakes that we're making today. It can be any question. So it can be questions about Archie. It can be questions about my business, about cakes that I've made. It could be questions about anything really. We could just have a bit of a chat, couldn't we? Maybe you want to ask Archie some questions. Do you think they want to ask you some questions? Like, what's your favourite superhero maybe? What is your favourite superhero? Spider-Man. Is it Spider-Man?
Maybe.
Oh, it's not. Who is it then? Flash?
Yeah.
Flash. It's Flash. So we're going to get started. We're going to have question time when our cakes are actually baking. Don't do that, Archie. And then what we're going to do after that, I'm going to get the cakes out. When they're cooling, we're going to make our buttercream. Right, Archie, if you keep doing that, you're going to have to go out with Daddy. Sorry. Look, Nanny's saying hello. She's saying make sure you save her one. So when our cakes are cooling, we're going to be making the buttercream. And then I'll do a couple of shout outs and talk things through decoration and what we're going to do afterwards. So, should we get started?
Yeah.
Yes, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing, Caleb loves the flash too. Shona's just said, look, Caleb loves the flash too. So from now, I'm going to move the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. That means I can't see your comments for the time being. But as I say, put anything in. If you want shout outs, let me know. If you've got any questions, let me know. And I'll come back to them when our cakes are actually baking. So the first thing you need to do is put the cakes in the oven because we haven't made the cakes. What is Mummy doing today? I think this whole staying in is making me go loopy-loo. We need to set the oven temperature. Can you remember what temperature we need? You can't. is 160 degrees Celsius. So if we set your ovens, I'm using a fan oven. If you're using a conventional oven, then I'd suggest maybe 170, 180. But for my fan oven, I'm using 160. So set that now so it's warming up and ready to go. Right, let's put that on, Archie. Ours is over here. 160 fan oven. There we go. Okay, so now I'm moving the camera around so I can no longer see your comments. If you're on your phone and the comments are getting in your way, if you use your finger to swipe from left to right, it moves the comments off of the screen. So that means that you'll be able to see what I'm doing. That only works on phones. I'm not sure about laptops and things. But let's move you down so I can no longer see you, I'm afraid. But hopefully it means you've got a better view. Do you reckon they can see what we're doing there, Archie?
No.
No? I think people probably can. Hopefully can. Give us a thumbs up if you can see what we're doing here. Let's see if there's any thumbs up. Hope so. I can't see any thumbs up, but let's hope we can. Okay, so we've got 100 grams of unsalted butter and 100 grams of Stork in our bowl at the moment. If you couldn't find any Stork, you can just use 200 grams of unsalted butter. But we're using 100 grams of unsalted butter and 100 grams of Stork at the moment. Archie is very nicely just warming it up for us, so it's a little bit softer. If you need to give it a bit of a zap in the microwave, if it's been in the fridge, then about 10 seconds, maybe 20 is usually enough. But do it in small blasts because you don't want really runny butter. So Archie is just warming it up very nicely. That's it. Make sure it's all nice and soft before we mix that sugar in. It's getting there, isn't it, Archie?
Yeah.
And now this part you can use an electric whisk for. I normally would, but one, I'm trying to save on a bit of washing up, and two, I'd rather my time speaking to you lot than doing the washing up. So if you've got an electric whisk, you can use it for this part. If you're beating the sugar and the butter together like I am, we just have to do it a little bit more and it takes a little bit longer. Okay, right, that's soft enough. That's the kind of consistency that we're looking for. So now we need our 200 grams of sugar. Okay, so where's our sugar, Archie? Can you find our sugar? That's it. I've gone for a mix of caster sugar and granulated sugar. Just makes the cakes a little bit fluffier. So we're going to pour all of that in. So that's the 200 grams of sugar in. And you just want to combine that now. You going to have a go, Archie? Yeah, go on then. So you want to keep mixing it until it's all incorporated. Careful you don't flick any over the sides of the bowl though. Like that. Because we want to keep all of that sugary goodness in there, don't we? That's it. Mix, mix, mix. Sing a little mixing song. That's it. Getting there, getting there. Should Mummy have a go? Let's get it all off the sides, look. Ooh, who else is doing this by hand? So it's much easier with the electric whisk. Mummy's usually a lot lazier than this, isn't she? So basically, the more you beat this together, the better at the moment. When you're using the electric whisker, at this point, you want to kind of get it to almost a buttercream consistency. And it makes your cakes a lot lighter. You're going to go and get your pirate stools in here, aren't you? Just over there, look. Archie's getting his pirate stool. He likes his pirate stool. Okay, so I'm going to try and give this a bit of a quick beat now. We want to get it a bit lighter, a bit fluffier. Make sure all of that butter is really, really... I've got a lump there. We don't want any lumps because then the rest of it doesn't incorporate properly. Oh, this is good for our muscles. Say, who needs the gym? Say. Oh, so Mummy needs the gym at the minute, actually, doesn't she? I don't know why I'm saying that. Oh, there you go, Archie. Do you want to have a go at really beating that quick for me? Woo! Look, keep it in the butter. Wow, that's it. Use those super muscles. Like the Hulk. The Hulk would be good at making cakes, I reckon. Might sort out his anger issues as well, mightn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so it's starting to get a bit lighter now. It's starting to look a bit smoother. Bit less grainy. It will still be a bit grainy at the minute anyway. Mainly because I'm not using an electric whisk. Whoosh. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, and Archie is an expert at this. Do you know what the next thing to go in is, Archie?
Eggs.
Oh, well done, it is. It's eggs. Right, so, did you know that it was eggs because I said you were an expert? You're an expert at this. Bad joke alert. Okay, so hang on a second. What is the trick to cracking eggs, Archie? Okay, that is how you do it. Wait a second. So, I'm just going to tell everybody else there's a trick to cracking eggs without completely smashing them, isn't there? So what kind of surface should you crack an egg on, Archie?
Flat.
Flat. Okay, hang on. A flat surface you should crack your eggs on. A lot of people crack on the side of a bowl. That's not actually the right way to do it because it means that you're more likely to get shell going into the egg and it's also more likely to break the egg. Obviously when it's going in a cake that doesn't matter so much. But flat surface, hang on, we've got to show people. Look, they're watching. Flat surface, and what part of the egg do you crack onto the surface, Archie?
Side.
The side of the egg. Okay, so you need to tap that a little bit harder. Whoa, not that hard. Quick, in the bowl. There we go. Is there any shell in there?
No.
No, there's no shell. So what does that mean we can do with this one? In the cake. Go on then, in it goes. Into the cake mix. Whoop. Lovely. Okay, so side of the egg, flat surface. Off you go. Go on then. Flat surface. That's it. You kind of did it on the bottom rather than the side. Bit harder. That's it. Over the top. Thumb in. Push. That's it, and pull. Oh. Oh, Archie, that looks a bit dribbly. Let Mummy get to it. There we go. Right, is there any showing that bit?
No.
So what does that mean we can do? In it goes. Lovely. Last egg. So we've gone for 3 eggs here. Ours were in the mixed size box. Side of the egg, Archie. Side of the egg. That's it. That's it. That's how we do it. Over the bowl. Perfect. See, told you were excellent at that. Right, any showing that one?
No.
In it goes. Good job. Okay, so just in case people are joining us late, what have we put in here so far?
Eggs.
Eggs.
Sugar. And butter.
And butter. Fantastic. So egg, sugar and butter. So there was 200 grams of butter, 200 grams of sugar.
Orange.
It is turning orange. And then we've got 3 eggs in here. Wow, that is going bright orange. Those are lovely eggs, aren't they?
Yeah.
So this does start to look like it curdles a little bit at this stage, but as soon as you add flour, it's completely fine. But you want to incorporate this as much as possible. It doesn't matter too much at the moment. You don't want to overbeat, but this isn't the point that you need to be soft. You can...
One more time.
Go on then, sorry. God, it's bossy. Not like your mummy at all, are you?
No.
So it doesn't matter. A lot of people think that you need to worry about how much you beat the eggs at this point. It's after you add the flour and the bicarb and things like that that you need to be softer with it. But right now, we can stir this in and it doesn't matter too much about how rough we're being. Sorry, go on then. That's it. Right, I think that will do us there. What's the next thing to go in? You got a bit on you, did you? Wipe it on your apron, you're fine. So we're going to set that aside now. And I'm bringing over my bowl of flour. Hang on, Archie, we've got to wait now. Okay, so in here, I've got 130 grams of my self-raising flour. Now to that, we're going to add, here's our teaspoon. We're going to add, there's nothing else in there yet, Archie. Hang on, wait, listen to instructions. We're going to add half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Whoa. That's it, in it goes. Give it a soft mix around in there. Kind of incorporate that in, just mix it really, really gently. because this is what's going to make our cakes rise, isn't it? And then half a teaspoon of baking powder. Now I did it that way round for a reason. Archie, let go. We're not doing gluten-free today. There we go. But gluten-free cakes, you can use bicarbonate of soda, but you can't use baking powder for a lot of them. Some of them you can, but basically because we're mixing into the flour, which isn't gluten-free today, the spoon hadn't touched the bicarbonate. Archie, dearie me, we need that for in our cake. This isn't typically how this kitchen works, is it? Well, actually, to be fair, it probably is when we make cakes together. We do get a bit messy, don't we?
Yeah.
So, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. They are now done, so we can put them away. We've mixed that in. What's that noise? You sound like a dinosaur. We've mixed them in to our flour. So this is our dry ingredients. What do we do with that now? Dear, it's gone a bit crazy from being indoors, I think. Right, are you going to help me with this, Mr. Dinosaur? Right, we're just going to pour all of that in now. Woohoo! In it goes. Oh, you're wiping a lot on your apron today.
Yeah.
And we're gonna. This is when you start to need to be gentle now. So you want to start folding that in. That's it, gently, gently now, Archie, because we don't want to knock all of the air out of the eggs.
No.
Okay, so nice and gently folding that in now. That's really good, Archie. Good job.
Yeah.
That's it. It's quite relaxing watching that, isn't it? Do you know what it reminds me of?
No.
Well, because that's so orange, it reminds me a bit of what you get inside cream eggs.
No, that.
What does it remind you of? Should Mummy take over for
Cream
you?
eggs too.
Cream eggs too? That's lucky then. Right, what's going to go in next, Archie? Oh, dear me. I wish I'd had just half of your energy. Goodness me. Right, should I tell everybody what's going in next then?
No. What is it?
What is it? What's the last thing we've got on our countertop?
No, sugar.
What is that? Is that sugar?
No.
No, what's that?
I don't know.
We have got here 70 grams of cocoa powder.
Sugar back.
Now, wait. We don't just tip this straight in. Some people do, but at cakes we don't. There is a secret tip to what we do with this first. Can you remember what the secret tip is?
No.
What do we normally do to cocoa powder before we put it in there?
I don't know.
We put in some warm water. Now, I haven't put this as an amount because it completely depends on how much water it takes to mix in to get it to a paste. So there's no set amount. It needs to be warm water. You're not looking for hot water, and we definitely don't want cold water. So we're going to turn the tap on now, Archie, and get some warm water. So can you, yeah, if you turn it onto the red one, and we need to wait until it gets warm. Now, cocoa powder soaks up moisture. So if you don't do this step, then your cakes can end up being quite dry and not lasting long. Whereas if you mix it with warm water first, the moisture has already been soaked up, if that makes sense. So it just adds the flavour to your cakes. So you end up with much moister cakes. That's a word that a lot of people don't like, but for cakes it's always good. We like moist cakes, don't we?
I got it right in front.
Right, is that warm yet?
No.
What do we reckon? It's getting there, isn't it? It's still not quite. Let's try and make it come out a bit faster. Right, there we go. Right, there we go. So I've got a jug of warm water here. Not all of it. We want to do a little bit at a time. Okay, so I'm just kind of covering it. Start stirring it for me, Archie. Mix it slowly because otherwise it'll fling everywhere. Okay, now as you can see, it's already soaked up all of that. So hang on. Here comes some more.
I like chocolate.
It does go like chocolate. It doesn't taste like chocolate yet. Don't lick this off of your spoon, whatever you do. There's another tip for you. Cocoa powder is actually really bitter until it goes into your cakes. So if you lick this off the spoon, it's like the cinnamon challenge. It's really not pleasant. Right, a bit more. So we just kind of keep adding until this is in a nice paste. That's it, Archie. Fab job. Still not quite there yet. It's getting closer.
More water?
Yeah, more water. Let Mummy just scoop it off of the sides because we want this to go into our cake mix and not on the side. Right, a bit more. Right, that's it. Try that. Be really gentle with that now because it's going to start flicking about a bit. That's it. Give it a good mix. No, we've still got to mix it in here yet. I'll help you. That's it. Oh, look at that.
That's turning on chocolate. Yum.
Yum, 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 yum. That's it. Now we're getting there. Keep mixing. Just keep mixing. Just keep mixing. Just keep mixing, mixing, mixing. Right, hang on. Let me and Mummy just get this bit off the side. Round we go, round we go. We want all of that goodness in there, don't we? Look at that. It looks like a swimming pool of chocolate, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to dive into a swimming pool of chocolate.
Yeah, me too.
Right, so that is the consistency that we're looking for. Bit less of a paste, more. It's like a thick cream, I suppose. Would you say?
Yeah.
Like a thick cream?
Yeah, I like thick chocolate cream.
Triple chocolate cream? Oh, what a thing that would be. Right, there we go. Now we can pour all of that in. So let me just check people can see that actually. Hang on. Hold it up to the camera. That's the kind of consistency that we're looking for. So it kind of dollops off of the spoon. Oh, a bit crazy, aren't you? Right, here we go then. Are you going to help me? Are you going to pour it in or are you going to mix it?
Yeah.
Go on then. I hold the bowl, you pour it in with the spoon. That's it. Scrape it all in. Whoa. Oh dear, Phoebe's coming to see what's going on as well now. Can you hear her?
Yeah.
That's Archie's sister Phoebe just banging on the kitchen door. She's with Daddy. I haven't just left her on her own. That's it. Right, is that all of it in? Thereabouts? A bit more. What are you expecting to see up there?
Nothing.
Nothing. Just going for a bit of craziness today. Right, this needs a bit of mixing in now, Archie.
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, remember you still need to be gentle with this now.
Yeah.
So folding it gently. That's it.
Turn even more like chocolate.
It is, isn't it?
Yes. Like chocolate buttercream chocolate.
It does look a bit like chocolate buttercream. We're making chocolate buttercream in a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. Make sure you're getting all of the cake mix from the bottom as well. Remember to ask me questions. I can't see your comments yet, but when our cakes are baking, I'll answer all of those questions. So if you've got any, make sure they're all written down and I'll come back to them for you. That's it. Do you want Mummy to have a go?
Yeah. That's not
Right, so
all
I'm
that.
just folding because a lot of the cake mix gets stuck on the bottom. So you want to make sure that you're really lifting it from underneath as well. And we're basically just folding this through until we can't see a white mix anymore. It's all going to be...
I can't see.
Dearie me. We went out for a lovely walk this morning, didn't we? Right, there we go. Okay, so that is looking about done to me. Oh, actually, what happens now? What do we do now?
Big.
What is the next thing?
Don't know.
You don't know? Well, we've got cake mix and chocolate all over our hands. We've done eggs. We've got all of our ingredients. So what's the next bit?
Nice these eggs?
No, those are for afterwards. That's for our buttercream and decorating. What do we do with our cake mix? I tell you what, before we do anything else, Mummy is just going to, mind yourself.
Sweet.
So is it bad that my child knows what bleach is? I suppose not, it means I'm clean. Let's give that a quick clean down. There we go. Archie, calm down a bit. Right. Here we go. Cake tins. I've just gone for these cupcake cases today. Archie, I'm showing everybody. Archie, they're from Wilton. What one should we go for? We've got some super Easter egg looking like ones. Or some nice green spring ones. What do you think we should go for? Green spring ones, okay.
Some green ones.
Some of both. Let's go for that then.
Yeah.
Let's do 6 of these and 6 of those, shall we?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just going to line our cake tin with our cupcake cases now. Are you doing those ones, are you? Okay, I'll do the back ones. Or we mix and match in them. Let's mix and match them, why not?
Yeah.
Dot them all over the place. Whoop.
Yeah.
Beat it to it. That's it. Make sure there's only one in each, Archie. I can see a couple joining together there.
Yeah.
Cool, you got loads in that one, look. That's it, pop that one in. Put those ones away. Super. Okay, so now let's get our cake mix back. Okay, now be quiet because I need to let people know how much we put in here. So we're going to get 2 tablespoons out. What I want you to think about is an ice cream scoop. So that's the kind of amount we're going to get in here. So you want your cupcake cases to be about 2/3 full, not right to the top because they're going to have a good raise on them. So about 2/3, okay? So we're thinking of an ice cream scoop. Look, I've still got loads of batter on that. Right, are you going to help me?
Yes.
Right, ready? I'm going to go to the back one and I need you to scrape it off with your spoon. So hold it, that's it, that's it. Good job. That's it, right, let's just pull this across a little bit because I'm not sure if anybody can see that. There we go. That's it, you're going to scrape that one in for me as well?
Yeah.
Don't lick the spoon. Got to get a different spoon now. Right, you go down there. Oh, you go lick the spoon. He's literally just licking a spoon in the corner of the room now. I'll carry on filling these up. I had a bit less in that one because Archie pinched the spoon. So I'm just going to roughly fill all of these up. If you've got an ice cream scoop, that's the perfect thing to use. And then I'll have a look at how much mix I've got afterwards and go back and... You got a clean spoon, have you? That's a baby spoon. You need a tablespoon, Archie. I think you're going to need a lay down after this. Archie, you're going to give everybody a headache soon, including Mummy. That's it. Right, here comes the next bit. Go on then. That's it. Careful you don't get it all over the sides. That's it. Do you know, I think we're going to have loads left over here. Maybe we'll just make bigger cakes. Archie, don't do that or the cake's not going to have anything left in it, is it? Right, you're going to have to help me. Do you know, guys, I don't know about you, but we've got loads of mix left. So I'm thinking maybe 1.5 batches out of this recipe. Right, that one definitely needs more in.
Yeah.
Probably not that much, but never mind.
Oh, yeah.
Right, are there any more that look like they've got a bit less in than the others, Archie?
That one.
Maybe a bit. That one a bit more.
That one. That one.
This one definitely needs more. Right, I'm just going to pop these in the oven and then answer questions, Archie. So do you want to go and sit with Daddy for a little bit?
No thanks.
No thanks. Daddy's playing probably. Go and see what he's playing. And then I'll call you when it's decorating time. Right, I'm just topping up some of these because, funny enough, I got a little bit distracted by small people.
Daddy stopped going on his phone. And he'll be watching Ben and Holly.
Phoebe's watching Ben and Holly, is she? Right, I think they're all pretty much the same. Right, go and lick the spoon then. Go and take your apron off and sit with Daddy and I'll call you when it's decorating time. Okay, so I'm going to move this back up. Just a little bit actually, because first I'll show you. I've got that much mix left, which is quite a lot. You're licking the spoon, aren't you? So I'm going to just leave that there, and then when these cakes come out and I've done all the decorating and everything, I can put that in again. Cake mix, you shouldn't really leave on the side for that long. They normally say about 20 minutes and then it starts to lose its fluffiness. I've got more chocolate on me. But cake is cake, especially when you're making it at home. So I will put that in the oven. So these are going in the oven now. Just to remind you, I've got mine at 160 degrees C. That is a fan oven. And I'm going to pop these in. I'll check them after 15 minutes. 15 minutes. But they normally take around 20 minutes. So I'll just pop them in now.
1 minute.
Right, there we go. These are going in.
1 minute.
Oh, Mummy's got another tray in there. Let's get that out. Right, careful, Archie. This is a hot oven. And to any other children doing this at home, an adult needs to do this for you, please, because ovens are extremely hot. Okay, so now I'm going to lift this up. Whoop. There we go. And I'm going to have a scroll through and see what people have said. So hopefully your cakes are in the oven along with us. It's exactly past, so we'll check those at 1:45. You're going to come and sit up here, are you? Come on in, you can sit up here with me. Just mind everything over there. Well, no feet, no feet. We don't have feet on kitchen signs, please. Thank you. Right, let's have a scroll through and see if we've got any questions then, Archie. So we go back up to the top. There's lots of people saying hello. I think Caleb and Evangeline are still watching. Do you want to say hello to Caleb and Evangeline?
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Okay. Do we have any questions? We like the mixing song. I like the mixing song. Is that the Just Keep Mixing one? Oh, I've turned the camera around. How did I do that? There we go.
How will you do that?
I have no idea. Oh, lots of people saying you're very excited about cake. You're always excited about cake, aren't you? That would be a yes. Kirsty's there. You've asked how much you miss Kirsty. I don't know when you joined. It doesn't give me a time. But we have only just put the cakes in the oven. To anybody that is worried that they've missed any of this, I am going to be uploading the video afterwards. So you'll be able to do it all through from the beginning, or if you're at a certain stage, then you can just kind of, you're just helping yourself to a cookie, aren't you?
Yeah.
It will be available for you, so you can catch up another time. My phone is beeping at me. I have no idea what that means. Let's have a look. Made it so enjoyable and fun with Archie. Can't wait to see him. Post eating the chocolate nest. That's such a good idea. I think when we finished completely, we definitely need photos of these. In fact, anybody that's kind of followed along, even if you followed afterwards, after I've done the live, post your pictures to my page of your finished cakes. We'd love to see those, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
What everybody's done. Oh, she's munching on a cookie. But we would love to see everybody's cake. No, nobody wants to see that. Right. So yeah, if you actually, I'm putting you down there now. Oh, sit on your pirate stool, look. So yeah, if you have baked along, as I say, if it's during this live, fantastic. If it's afterwards, still post your finished cakes onto my page with a hashtag. What should we go with? baked along with cakes. So hashtag baked along with cakes onto my cakes page. We'd absolutely love to see your finished cakes. And even if there's some posing of, or there will be of me and Archie anyway, eating all of our cakes, won't there? Right, let's have a look and see. I'm trying to scroll through these, but Nanny's asking us to make her some. We might be able to walk up and drop them during our exercise time. What do we reckon? Oh, look, Jack's on there. Jack says hello. Jack from play school. You going to say hello? Are you going all shy?
Hi.
Oh, there we go. We got a hi. We got a hi. We saw Jack the other day, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's so sad just seeing people from a distance at the moment. We're really missing people. We're going a bit loopy-loo in this house, in case you haven't noticed. Let's scroll through a few of these. Oh, Kate next door saying hi as well. Say hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
I wonder if Hannah's there. Is Hannah there? Hi, Hannah, if you're there. Let's have a scroll through. That is very true, Wendy. I won't repeat that comment. Right, I think that's us at the bottom of the comments, maybe. I don't think we've had any questions. Does anybody have any questions? It could be about favourite cakes, cakes that I've made in my business. We've got lots of time to pass, people. Still 10 minutes to go. How long have I had my business open for, Archie? My business has been running for about a year and a half now, coming up for 2 years in September. I mainly make novelty cakes, so birthday cakes, celebration cakes, anniversary cakes. I've done a few weddings. I did have a lot more booked for this year, but unfortunately they've been rescheduled. But as a positive, they have been rescheduled. So we're looking forward to doing those. Well, I am. Archie definitely doesn't help me with any customer cakes, do you?
No.
I don't think I could cope if that was the case. Oh, Hannah is there. You gonna say hi to Hannah?
Hi.
Hi, Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
We love your rainbow, by the way. Are you doing another next week? Shona's asked. I would like to do one next week. You would like to do one next week?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you let us know what you'd like to learn, what do you think we should do next week? Maybe we could make cookies.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookies? Caramel cookies?
Caramel cookies.
Caramel cookies. And chocolate.
Yeah.
And fudge and just everything yummy.
Yeah.
Maybe some marshmallow cookies. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's our idea. If you've got any ideas about what you'd like to learn, it might be something savoury. Maybe one week we could do a pie.
Yeah.
And cook mummy's and daddy's dinners. How about that?
Yeah.
That's a plan. That was a bit dangerous. How about biscuits, Wendy said. We love biscuits in this house, don't we? As much as I bake cake, biscuits are my all-time naughty treat. Love a biscuit. I think hobnobs or digestives are probably my favourite. What's your favourite biscuit?
Cookies.
Cookies. Oh, cookies, biscuits. Can you do a gooey cookie one? Oh, definitely. We love... Oh, and cheese. Oh, everybody's giving us ideas. We've got loads of fabulous ideas. Okay, so cookies seem quite popular. Gooey cookies are one of my all-time favourite things to make, and they don't actually take that long. So we could do maybe a couple of different flavours of those, couldn't we? So we might do that next week, because that one seems very popular. And then, yeah, scones is another good one. Scones or scones? Scones or scones, Archie? How do you say it?
Scones and scones.
Oh, he says both. Yeah, that's another good one. And I'm just talking to my friend, actually, who lives in Ireland. She moved over a few years ago now. And she's making scones today too. So, yeah, we might make this a rolling thing while we're in. If people are interested, just let me know, either through messages or on my page or whatever. And we'll set something up. Maybe we'll do it every week. If this time works for people, let me know. You can always catch up with these videos at a later time anyway. So, yeah, we'll definitely do some more. Oh dear, somebody's setting up on biscuits. That's your last one, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, tarts. Do you know what? I don't know if I've ever made a tart.
Oh my god.
I don't know if I have. I think I have.
I'm not.
But it was for Daddy before you were even born. And it was a chocolate and strawberry one.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah, my
like a while
cookie
ago.
one.
A cookie tart?
Yeah.
Overload on sugar. Yeah, tarts might be another good idea.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cookie one.
A cookie one. A cookie tart, apparently. Yeah, what other questions? Somebody's asked me recently. I'm just thinking back to messages that I've had. Oh, what was my favourite cake? One of my favourite cakes was, oh, I've had quite a few that I've really enjoyed doing actually. I tell you what, the one cake that I can really remember doing, do you remember my broccoli cake, Archie? It wasn't a cake made of broccoli, it was a cake made to look like a broccoli, and that one was awesome. I really enjoyed that one. The story behind it was the customer was buying for a man who was turning 50, and he wasn't a keen cake enthusiast, but he loved broccoli, so they wanted something that he could enjoy as well, but also have something for the guests at the party. So I made a chocolate cake to look like a broccoli, and then underneath the florets there was all different kinds of chewy sweets, chocolates and all sorts for him to enjoy, and then cake for the guests, and it was all made to look like a broccoli. So check that out, my page, that was a good fun one. Shola is saying loved Hulk and Belle. Oh yeah, those were a couple of my first ever cakes, weren't they? Do you remember the Hulk one that we made for Caleb?
No.
No. That was one of my first figures, I think, so that's definitely a memorable one. And Belle was the one that looked like a dress, do you remember? And trying to find a doll for that one was the hardest thing about it, I think. Oh, share about your classes, Wendy's saying. So yeah, I'm running classes. Well, I say I'm running classes. When all of this passes over, I run classes. I'm taking bookings at the moment, but I'm not taking deposits, just based on the situation at the moment. So if you are interested in signing up, then please send me a message for extra details. But basically, I tailor them completely to you. So if it's a group of boys, we could do superhero toppers for the cupcakes. If it's, I've just had Wendy round actually, she's the one that was just commenting. I say she's just come round, it wasn't during lockdown, just putting that out there, it was before lockdown commenced. She was interested in learning some flowers, so we did lots of floral toppers, and she's doing brilliantly actually, and keeps sending me these pictures of these practice pieces she's been doing at home, which are absolutely beautiful. And what else can we do? We can do all sorts, basically anything that you're interested in. I will tailor the classes to fit the audience and to fit the theme that you'd like. So yeah, you can kind of message me. Classes start from £40, and that normally includes 4 baked cupcakes. You make the buttercream with me, top your cupcakes, and then I teach you however long it takes. I don't set a time because, for example, if you had a group of children compared to a group of adults, it's very different. The adults take a lot longer because we have wine while we're doing it. No, that was a joke. But it's tailored, so there's no end limit on it. It normally takes around 2 to 3 hours if you're doing 4 toppers. Can take a little bit longer than that if you're doing 6 toppers. But they're really good fun classes. I've done a lot of children's classes with set cakes. It's nearly time, I'm just watching my watch. With set cakes. Adult classes with wine? Yes. Adult classes without wine? Yeah, you get wine, mainly because I like wine. You can bring your own drink if you don't like wine. But yes, no, I do. It's only 1 glass per person, but I'm quite relaxed about it. We all think alike. We definitely do. You want to go down?
Yeah.
Up or down? Right, I'm going to tell people now about checking cakes because I'm about to check ours in a second. So, when you check your cakes in the oven, don't open the door and fully pull them out, because if they're not ready, it means they're going to go flat and you can end up with a well in the middle. So what you want to do is open your door and just pull them out slightly just so that you can get to them. Now please really be careful with your hands when you do this, but you just want to feel on top and you're looking for them to be springy, kind of bouncy. Be really soft when you do that, because obviously if they're not ready, your finger will go straight through the cake. That's the first thing to check for. If they're not springy and bouncy, you don't want to bring them out. If they're springy and bouncy and you think they might be ready, bring them out a bit further and then use either a skewer, a cocktail stick. I use a really small thin knife. You don't want like a table knife. In fact, careful because I've got a blade. This is the knife that I use. As you can see, it's really thin, so it won't destroy the cake too much when it goes in, and you're looking for the blade to be clear. Same with the cocktail stick and the skewer. So when you pull it out, check if it's springy. If it is, put your cocktail stick, your skewer or your knife in. If it comes out clear, then they're done. Bring them out, and there's a bit of debate. Are you filling up your water bottle? There's a bit of debate about whether you should bring your cupcake cases out of the tin straight away. I always have done, and I've never had a problem with it. So as soon as mine are ready, I take them straight out and put them onto a cooling rack. So I'm going to check mine now. It's been 15 minutes. So remember, don't pull them all the way out, just enough that you can check whether they're springy or bouncy. So Mummy's going to do that now. Careful of the oven. Careful of the oven if you are doing this. You need to get an adult to check this part, please. Right, let's have a look. Oh wow, they've risen really nicely, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mummy, mine not quite on.
Not quite on?
No.
Okay, I'll help you with that in a second.
Mine not on the
Right,
front
mine is
bit.
springy and bouncy. So I'm going to bring them out a bit more and put my knife in. Yep, that one's done. I'm going to go for one at the back as well, just in case my fan's not working properly. And I'll close it up just to show you. Ooh, clear knife. So mine are coming out now. Whoop. Right, careful actually, because this is hot. Hot, hot, hot.
Yeah. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah, we're ready. Ready?
No, not yet. They've just come out of an oven. I have a wire rack. Careful, that nearly went all over our cakes.
Hi,
I will do it. There we go. Right, here we go. Whoop. Bring this back down here. I've got a wire rack. I'm going to do this and not Archie, just because they are still hot. But I'm going to put my cakes straight onto my wire rack and get them cooling. Don't worry if you're a little bit behind and you can't bring yours out of the oven yet. They still need to cool down. So you've got plenty of time to catch up if you are following along live. Oh, these are hot. Whose idea was this? Ah!
It's your idea.
It was my idea, was it?
Oh, it's my idea.
It was your idea.
Nobody's idea.
It was nobody's idea.
No.
Cool, look at these.
Oh, it's your idea.
What do they smell like, Archie?
Yeah, no, we like chocolate and vanilla.
Chocolate and vanilla?
Yeah, I think so.
We've not put any vanilla in.
No. But they like chocolate and vanilla.
Maybe it's because vanilla's sweet. They're still hot, Archie, don't touch. Are you helping me out with this whole thing today?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Right. Okay, so they're going to start cooling down now.
Yeah.
While they're cooling down, we're going to start moving on to making the buttercream.
Buttercream, buttercream, buttercream.
What flavour buttercream do you think we're making, Archie?
Chocolate.
Yes.
Oh,
Right, so, excuse camera angles again.
Oh,
Alright, Archie. I'm going to be using... Oh, I've just realised everybody can see the state of our kitchen, look. I've still got cake mix there. That's going in again afterwards. In fact, Archie, if I bring this over here, do you want to load up the next cupcake cases for the next cakes?
Yeah.
Yeah? Come on in.
What?
I don't know what I did. Oh, there's the cupcake cases. Careful because it's still a little bit warm. It's not hot anymore, but it is still warm. So you can be loading those up. Okay? Right, super. I'm using my mixer for buttercream. Again, you don't have to, you can just use the spatula or spoon like I did before, but you do get a much fluffier consistency with your buttercream if you've got an electric whisk. So I'm going to be using mine today. I'm going to move that round. I hope you can see what I'm doing over there. Okay, so let me move all of this across. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be starting with for the buttercream is the butter. So I have 100 grams of unsalted butter here. Mine's not quite soft enough because I didn't get it out in time from the fridge. So I'm just going to give this a quick zap in the microwave, about 15 minutes. Wendy, please don't worry if yours aren't ready yet. I'm going to talk people through this. So if you just kind of jot it down with pen and paper or something. And I've still got to wait for the cakes to cool before I do the decorating bit yet anyway. So don't worry too much. And I'm going to stay on while I'm decorating all of these cakes. I'm not just going to cut off. So you'll have plenty of time to catch up. And I'm showing different methods of how to decorate the cakes as well. So please don't worry about that. Okay, so yeah, buttercream, I'm going to give this a quick zap in the microwave. Oh, well done, Archie.
Yeah,
good job there. That's it. You can start filling them up afterwards with the spoons as well if you want to.
Yeah.
Good job. There we go. And that has gone into a bit of a softer consistency. So can you see how I can dip my finger into that, but it's not sinking all the way through? So you don't want it to be completely
Let me do
like
that.
a river.
Let me do that.
Not in the cakes. I'm talking about the butter. See? Okay, that's enough. You don't want butter all over your fingers. Okay, so I'm just going to put that in the mixer and start beating it to soften it up. I need my spatula. Look, this is what happens when Mummy puts things down. Hang on. That's it. One big scoop and then pop it in. Use the other spoon to help you get it off if you need to. That's it. Right, butter going in, 100 grams of unsalted butter. Right, it is going to get a bit noisy now, sorry. Oh. So I'll just kind of show you quickly. Ooh, that's the kind of consistency we're going for. Just softened. Okay.
Mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing? Archie's just making another batch of cakes over there in case you were wondering. Okay, so
Mummy,
next...
what are you doing this bit?
Okay, I'll help you with that in a minute. That's it, no, that's a good job.
Yeah.
You might need a bit more in there, look.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Wonderful.
Okay. Go on, you keep going, you're doing a good job. So the next thing that we're going to add is our 200 grams of icing sugar, which I've got in here. You need to add it bit by bit, not all at once, otherwise you will have a cloud of icing sugar everywhere. So bit by bit, you still will get some thrown up at you probably, but it won't be half as bad if you just do it bit by bit. So gradually, you will need the whole 200 grams though. So I'm going to do that now, adding it bit by bit.
Whoa.
Don't Yeah, it was just butter, Shona. So that was the 100 grams of unsalted butter, and I've just kind of beaten it to warm it up, and now I'm adding the 200 grams of the icing sugar bit by bit. That's it, you need a bit more in those two, as in that one really. Make sure they've got the same amount as that one. That's it. Good job. You need to bring a bit on your spoon before it goes off.
Whoa!
Okay, mine's still not fully incorporated yet. I need to give it a little bit more of a whisk. Hello! So you don't have to have this, but it just makes it a little bit more luxurious. I'm going to add some melted, nearly said butter then, melted chocolate to my buttercream. So I've just got 100 grams of milk chocolate. Now I'd normally use dark chocolate because it makes it a bit richer, but as you can imagine, at the shops I could only get milk. So I've got milk chocolate. So I've got 100 grams in there. I'm just going to give that a zap in the microwave. If you don't have a microwave, what you need to do is get it in a heat-proof bowl. Put it over a bain-marie, so a saucepan with some simmering water, only about an inch of water in it because it's the steam that heats up the bowl. You don't want the water touching the bowl, and then you just let the chocolate melt. It does take a little bit longer, but you can get the same results. And as I say, you don't have to have this. You can just use the cocoa powder. It's just it makes it a bit richer. So I'm going to go and melt this in the microwave now.
Not much salt in there.
That's it. That's it. Okay, all over that side for you now.
Thanks.
Okay, so it's all over that side now. Right, try not to put any in any of these now. You just want to make sure these cupcakes have the right amount in. That's it, good job. You've done really well with those, Archie.
Yeah. But I've not got cases yet.
Because we don't have enough batter to do all of those. These are extra ones that you're doing, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's it. Mummy put those in your
They can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well done, that's
Let
brilliant
me count
counting.
them up. 1,
Archie's just counted. How many extra cupcakes did you manage to get out of that mix, Archie? How many did you just count?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6! So we got 6 extra cupcakes
1,
out of that
2,
mix.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
That's brilliant counting, except you counted 2 twice. So we've got 12 there. 12. That was super counting though. Okay, let me go and check that chocolate.
We're going to do that again. 1,
Oh,
2,
look at
3,
that.
4, 5,
Okay,
6, 7,
so we've got
9,
100 grams of
11,
lovely
13.
melted chocolate there. I'm just going to let that cool a little bit before I actually add it to the buttercream.
They're so hot now.
They're not so hot, they're cooling down, aren't they? That's what we want.
Yes, 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 yes.
So anybody that is just joining, we're just making the buttercream at the moment. No, thank you. So we've got 100 grams of unsalted butter, and we've got 200 grams of icing sugar. And I'm just about to add some of the melted chocolate. Now I'm probably not going to add all of this. No. Right, you can have one of them. Just one. Chew them first, please. It kind of depends on the consistency. So remember, you're going to need to pipe this. So you don't want it to be super runny, but at the same time, you don't. Are you showing everybody the mini eggs? There. Okay. But at the same time, you don't want it to be really stiff either. So this is where it kind of depends. So if you're just using cocoa powder, then you need to use the milk to do the same thing. If you're using the melted chocolate, then you want to put the cocoa powder in first.
Mummy?
Incorporate that.
Mummy?
Hang on, I'm talking.
Eggs in here.
The eggs are in there, yes.
Mummy.
You need to incorporate the cocoa powder first and then use the milk chocolate. If you're still finding that it's too stiff, then add milk after that to kind of get it to the consistency that you need. So if you're just using cocoa powder, then use your milk to get it to the right consistency. If you're using the melted chocolate, use that first, still adding bit by bit, and then if you still need it to be runnier, then you use the milk. I hope that makes sense. Right, so cocoa powder is 30 grams. So I've got 30 grams of cocoa powder. I'm adding that to my buttercream now. Archie, not everybody appreciates your beautiful singing.
Oh, this one looks pretty.
Is that a pretty one?
Yeah. It's
There's a chick coming out of it. Are you sure? Alright, hang on, Archie, please. But you're not going to eat your dinner if you keep eating that. Right. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this. This is just with the cocoa powder added to the butter. And can you see how I'm struggling to get my spatula through that? So that means it's way too thick. So I'm going to add some of my melted chocolate now and try and loosen that up a little bit. So I'm going to add about half of my melted chocolate to start off with. So that would be 50 grams.
Get the eggs got cracks on. Alright?
50 grams of the melted chocolate in there. Right, you've had enough of those, don't you?
Alright. I'm getting one with cracks.
I know you are. So this is half of the melted chocolate in. Oh, sorry, wrong angle again. But can you see it's still quite thick? It's like very gloopy and heavy. So I'm going to put the rest of my milk chocolate in now. It has lightened up somewhat, but I think we're going to need some milk as well. So that's still too thick at the moment. Where's Rhiannon? Rhiannon's saying that she's gutted that she missed. Oh, Rhiannon, please don't worry. I'm going to upload this video as soon as I've finished. So you'll have a chance to catch up with that again. So it will be available. I'm leaving it on my cakes page for eternity until Facebook take it off. So you'll be able to catch up and do it again anyway. So I'll leave it there so that it's available for you to catch up with.
Try going to eat these.
Right, should we put in the rest of this melted chocolate, Archie?
I'm not going to eat all one
Right, just those two then, or we're not going to have any left to decorate our cakes with, are we? So this is the other 50 grams of the melted chocolate going in now.
I also want this one with waffle.
Do you want to lick the chocolate spoon? You don't want to lick the chocolate spoon?
Yeah.
Mummy will lick it instead then. Okay, so I've added all of my chocolate. It's still not quite, I don't want it to be thin, so I don't want to use that word. But I want it to be stiff enough still that I can use, but you don't want it, you want it to be loose so that we can actually use it. Archie, don't lean on Mummy because you're going to fall off of your... Right, so let me get my milk out. So I'm only adding a little splash of this until it gets to the right consistency. As soon as it's at the right consistency, I'll show you so that you can see it on the camera. You can't really thicken up after you've put in. If you find that you've made it seriously too runny, then you can try and thicken it up with icing sugar. However, it's a lot trickier to go that way than it is to thin it down, so make sure you're only adding a little bit at a time of this milk. Do a quick, oh look at that.
That's really good.
That does really look like chocolate, that's because it is. It's chocolate buttercream. Okay, so let's show everybody. So this is the consistency that we want to be at. So it's not stiff, it's looser than what we started with. I can mix it quite easily, but it's not runny either. So it kind of slops off of the spoon. It holds itself somewhat, but it's not stiff. I don't know, I need to learn some new adjectives, don't I really? We could get some English in with this, couldn't we? Here you go kids, what adjectives can we use to describe this consistency of buttercream? There's a task. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That was only one little splash of milk. Sorry, I can't really give you a measurement for that. It was probably 2 tablespoons worth if I had to give you a guess. So now comes the piping bag, the dreaded piping bag. I've got one. If you don't have one, I have put up 2 links on this event page in the discussion section of how to make piping bags. If it's too sloppy, try and add some icing sugar. And that should help to just hold it a little bit more. Another thing to do if you've used melted chocolate would be to put it in the fridge for a little bit and it will start to firm up because of the chocolate in it. But yeah, it's a bit hard to go back the other way, so just try adding some icing sugar. If you've used the melted chocolate, try and pop it in the fridge for a little bit. So with the piping bags, if you really don't have one and you can't make one, I will show you an alternative method. But we're going to use the piping bags today, so I'm just going to pop this in a piping bag now. Let me just give my hands a quick rinse. Right, Archie, you're going to have to help me with this in a second. So with the piping bag, I've just used this nozzle at the end. Oh, refocus, refocus. Is it going to refocus? Oh, sorry, I'm trying to touch my screen so you can see. Oh, it's not refocusing. I'm really not technical. but it's just like a little hole on the end basically. If you don't have a nozzle, that's completely fine. All you do is you fill up your bag first and then cut a little hole in the end, but we're only going for like a little hole. I don't know what size that is, a couple of millimeters, 2 millimeters I'd say. Bit of maths too, see? Who said baking was for people that are uneducated? Couple of millimeters. Okay, so a good tip, let's move that out of the way. Whoop. A good tip, if you're ever doing this on your own, I'm going to move you down again now. Whoop. Is get a really large glass, like a pint glass. Pop your piping bag over the top and roll it down. And that means you don't have to hold it when you're spooning your buttercream in. I think I've just moved that down a bit. Oh, there we go. So let's fill that up with our buttercream now, shall we, Archie?
Yeah. This bit.
Oh, look at that. Whoop. There it goes. I've only got half of mine in at the moment.
Oh yeah.
Shimmy it down to the bottom. And we're going to do half and half, I think. Right, I'm just making sure this is all down at the bottom. Okay, then once you've got it down there, oh, let's move that out the way. You want to twist your bag, and that basically just stops it all from squirting out the top. So twist your bag around until it feels tight. Now, if it is children that are working with this, you can get the little clips that go across the top just to give you a bit of extra safety. Right, Mummy's going to show you how to do this, Archie, and you're going to have a go. Hopefully, our cakes are just about cool enough. You might want to leave yours for a couple more minutes, but they're just about cool enough. So Archie, hang on, if Mummy puts these over here. And I'll bring them over one by one. Okay, so let me move the camera again. Oh, camera angles. Right, hopefully you can see that. Oh, this is a bit top heavy. I might have to click it up one. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that okay? Because we're about to do the decorating. Okay, I think that might be in the right place. Okay, so I've twisted my bag. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a big splodge, doesn't really matter what it looks like much, in the middle of my cake.
I like that.
And then what we're going to do, I'll hold it up a bit, is we're basically going to create our nest. So you're going to go round and around and around and keep going round and round and round and round and round and round until it looks like a little bird's nest. Look at that! Woohoo! I love that. Oh, can you see that okay? And then with that big splodge in the middle, what do we need? If you've got any left and your children haven't eaten them all, we've got some little eggs. So I'm going to pop those in. How many should we go for, Archie?
25.
25?
Yeah.
I'm not sure we'd fit 25 eggs in this little nest. Three. I'm going to go for 4 so we can hide up that splodge there. There we go. How about that? So we've got our little bird's nest sitting on top. I've just seen Shona's comment. Can you fill it in? I'm trying to be sensible because I realise this is a family event. Can you swirl it in a little bit more? Are you talking about on the piping bag? Archie, don't do that. Right, so that is what we're going for. Archie, don't eat any more of those, please, because you're not going to have enough. I said I'd show you an alternative method. So if you don't have a piping bag, or if your piping bag has gone wrong, this is the alternative method, hence why I left some of the buttercream out. So if you don't have your buttercream in your piping bag, what you can do is get a nice splodge and pop it on top. This isn't as neat as the piping bag, which is why I suggested piping bags. You want to kind of shape it around. You can use a spoon or a knife to do this. Just roughly, because we're going to create a nest effect on it in a minute anyways. And then you want to put your dip in the middle. So I'm just going to scoop some out. I hope you can all see this okay. And then if you've got a cocktail stick or a skewer, let me just go and find one. My trusty skewers. You just want to create the nest effect by just dragging the skewer through. So as you can see, this is a bit of a messier nest, but you still get the same kind of... Oh, Archie just went into his daddy and said, "This is my cake." So proud. That's what I love about baking. So I'm just kind of creating a rough effect around the edge with my cocktail stick. And then you can put your eggs in the same. So it's a bit of a rougher look, but if you really don't have a piping bag, then it's another way of doing it. There we go. Okay. So 2 different types of nest that you can make there. So I'll do one more. I'm going to use my piping bag again for this one. So a splodge in the middle, and that's just for our eggs to sit on. And then we're going to go round and round and round. It will look a bit messy to start off with, but the more you build it up, the more like a nest it starts to look. And you can go as wide or as thin as these, but the taller they make it, the more like a nest it looks. There we go. Can fit a few more eggs in this one, I think. If you don't have mini eggs, you can always use Smarties or M&Ms. There we go. Okay. Or if you do have fondant at home. Oh, you guys are making me laugh today. I completely lost my track of thought because I was just reading your comments. Oh, that's what I was saying. If you do have fondant at home, then you can just roll them into little balls to look like eggs as well. So those are our little nest cakes, our chocolate nest cakes. Archie's left me to show Daddy his cakes. I'm just going to lift you up again. There we go. So if I haven't answered any of your questions or haven't responded to any of your comments, I'm not meaning to be rude, I just haven't had a chance to look at all of them. But I will do that later, and I'll make sure that I come back and I get back to all of you and make sure that I have answered all of those by the end of tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Well done to those of you that have followed along. Please remember that I'm putting this up after the live. As soon as it allows me to, so it takes a little few minutes just to upload. So if you've missed anything, then go back to my cakes page and you'll be able to watch it again, and I'm leaving that on there permanently, so you'll always be able to find it. If you've enjoyed it, please share this with your friends, put any likes and comments and things. Obviously with everything that's going on at the moment, my business has had to kind of close its doors almost. I don't want to say that I'm closed because I'm not, I'm still taking bookings, but basically if I can keep in touch with people and make people realise that I'm still here. I'm only a small local business, so that's really helpful, and it means that other people can enjoy it as well. So I really want to get many people baking along with cakes as we can. I'd love to see what you've made, whether it be today or if you're catching up later. So please feel free to put your cakes and your creations on my page. If you put a hashtag baked along with cakes with a Z, like this, I'd absolutely love to see all of your creations. I've got a little competition coming up soon as well, so keep your eyes open for that. It's more for the children, to keep them busy, to be honest, and to get them involved with my business. So yeah, that would be great. Keep your eyes open for that. That's to come, so I won't tell you. And then also, a lot of you mentioned at the start of this video that you were really interested in this happening again, maybe with cookies and scones and things like that. So I think next week we might do cookies, because that seemed to be what most people were after. So I'll probably do it at the same time, Thursday at 3 o'clock, and we'll look to do cookies. I'll do the gooey ones, and we can do a mixture of flavours. I'll do it the same as this, where I set it up as an event, and I'll write out the ingredients list and equipment list that you'll need for that one as well. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and Archie, sorry he was a bit energetic. I hope you've all enjoyed it too, and you enjoy your creations. Stay safe everyone, take care, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you very much, bye.